Welcome to The Catalyst, an exciting and insightful podcast produced by Northeast Iowa Community College. I'm your host, Amy Lasack. Together, we'll explore the people, programs, and partnerships that make Northeast Iowa Community College unique. From student success stories to behind-the-scenes info about athletics, innovation, and industry collaboration, each episode dives deeper into your community's college. Get ready for an inside look at the impact of community-driven education at NICC. Great. Well, welcome everybody to The Catalyst. Today we are diving into a world that's redefining what it means to be a student athlete in the world of esports. So it's competitive, it's strategic, it's growing really fast on college campuses all across the country. I'll be the first to admit I don't know much about gaming beyond losing maybe an occasional Mario Kart game with my son, or maybe going back to the 80s with the Atari console that we had in my home. But our guest definitely understands esports, and I likely will have a lot of questions for him. So I want to introduce Christopher Turnis. Christopher is a dedicated student athlete at Northeast Iowa Community College, currently serving as captain of the college's Valorant esports team. A former Iowa football kid captain, he represented the state through the Children's Miracle Network, highlighting his passion for community involvement. Christopher graduated high school with honors as a member of the National Honor Society and has continued his academic excellence at NICC, earning academic all honors team recognition in both semesters of the past year. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I am so excited to talk to you because, as I mentioned, I know very, very little about the world of esports. Before we dive too deep, I want to learn a little bit about you. So tell us a little bit about where you're from and what you're studying at NICC.
So I'm from Dubuque. I have a very versed background in the medical field, so that kind of swayed my opinion into going into the field that I want to. I kind of, with my majors at NICC, I've been all over the place. I've been from economics to business, and now I'm really honing in on I'm looking at the radiology program right now. I'm doing my prereqs for all of that, and it should just be this semester and next semester that will go through, and then I should be able to begin the program ideally next fall.
Oh, that's exciting. And I've been really looking forward to chatting with you and learning about esports and your experience at NICC as a student athlete. But maybe first, just tell us a little bit about how you got into esports. Was there a moment where you're like, hey, I really like this, or I'm really good at this?
You know, I've been playing video games my whole life. Where I really got into esports initially was back in Fortnite. You know, I used to be a big Fortnite kid, and, you know, seeing all the professional, like, tier 1 pros playing up on those big stages, it just looks so much fun. Like, yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, it's such a privilege to, like, play in front of thousands and thousands of people at a game that you're very good at. And, you know, that my passion for esports from Fortnite kind of drifted over to Valorant when I started playing a while back, and so I got involved with esports. I think I got a tour of the college, and I was like, I wasn't aware that esports was a thing anywhere around this area, and so they were like, yeah, we have an esports arena, and I was like, whoa. And at the time, Varick wasn't there. That this was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Varick wasn't there, and it wasn't exactly a well-known thing as it is today. But going back to, you see Valorant and, like, their stages and just, like, the crowd at these international events, or even regional events at, like, the tier 1 pro level. It's insane just to look at, like, what traction a video game could bring for, like, an audience.
It's really crazy how much it's grown the last couple of years, and I just anticipate it's going to continue to grow. And you mentioned Varick. Varick is one of our esports coaches, very involved at NICC. And you also mentioned a term, tier 1. For those of us that aren't familiar with what that means, what does that mean?
So esports kind of, so how every other collegiate sport has it, it's like, you know, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3 for their respective game or whatever, or sport. It's kind of the same way. It's just tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
Okay.
But, you know, The professionals, they have their 1 through 3 tiers, just kind of skill level players and whatever. And same thing carried over to the collegiate esports team that I'm on currently.
Very cool. And so what does a typical week look like for you as a student athlete during esports season, or is there an esports season?
Yeah, so there definitely is an esports season. Right now we're in our fall season, so it's divided between 2 seasons, the fall and spring.
Okay.
And then so a typical week for me, so I have classes Tuesday, Thursdays, with my in-person classes, and then I have a couple of online classes that I'm doing as well. So whenever I get done with my weekly classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is around 2-ish, I typically head to the esports room and like make a game plan or like kind of plan out the week as what the team can do and what is flexible. Cause we're all college
Mhm.
students. Like, yeah, esports is fun, but we also have like responsibilities as students, and
Right.
most of us are working jobs as well. So I'm trying to find that healthy playing balance to where it's like not too stressful on the players to make them burnt out or anything and not want to play the game that they are signed up for. Um, so it's just kind of all that. But like I said, the healthy uh class work and also matches and all that is very very important because
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, just keeping all of that balanced. I'm sure you have to figure
mhm,
out what that structure looks like for
yeah.
you and interacting with the team. Do you all tend to practice together, or what does that look like?
So yeah, our season schedule right now is we typically have scrimmages where we scrim like random different teams through an app that I use, and we scrim right now Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we have matches Thursdays, and then we have like a team meeting Fridays just to go over like the VOD review of the previous match that we had the night before and just things that we want to work on, things that we recognize that we did well in this particular match or whatever. Um,
So you mentioned Valorant. I'm assuming that's the game that you play.
mhm.
Does your esports team have several different like sub teams with different games
Oh,
within?
100%.
Really?
So the esports program as a whole, it's obviously not just Valorant. There are other esports for video games. I believe there's Overwatch, there's Marvel Rivals, Super Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Call of Duty. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like
Wow.
if there's a video game that you maybe recognize, I mean, obviously not older games,
No
but
Pac-Man.
m- no. But if there's a game that you see, it's like a game that you see or you're watching or whatever. There typically is an esport for it.
Yeah, so it sounds like pretty much anybody who's interested in gaming, there's probably going to be a pocket for you somewhere if you want to join an
Oh,
esports team.
yeah, 100%.
That's pretty cool, and that's nice that it's really encompassing and involves a lot of different folks. So when you do go to a competition or do a competition, what does that look like? Do you actually physically go somewhere? Do you do that from your own arena? What does that look like?
So typically, it would really suck if we had to go travel for this, but luckily it's esports and we can do it online. Um, and so typically, whenever teammates get ready, we go down to the NICC Esports Arena and just kind of we usually show up. So matches are around 7 o'clock. We usually show up around 5:30. Get the mentality right to
Mhm,
you know play good and get a game plan on what we want to work on and what we need to do in order to win this particular match, right?
mhm,
Um, but the esports arena itself, it's really nice. After the reorganization, there's constantly like a lot of people, like not even esports athletes alone, like random players can be in their arena, they're not even random players, random people from campus, anything.
just to watch.
Uh just to watch, they can play as well if they want.
Oh, fun.
If there is a computer available, they can play. And we see a lot of other student athletes from other organizations like baseball and
Mhm.
those things come in here and play, which is it's really nice to see because
Yeah.
I mean that place is just so nice just to blow off some steam after a class, or if you're feeling stressed, just go play video games, you know.
Yeah.
Which with that notion, it does get pretty busy in there at times. Because I think we have a total of 12 computers, and so 12 people can play at it, or one person can play at a computer at one time. But it's nice to see as a student, because I remember a previous semester it was almost like a barren wasteland almost. There was not many people in there, and I
Hmm.
think there's a lot more coverage of esports in the arena itself this semester. Um, Varick, it does get kind of hot in there at times, with all those people in there. So Varick added some fans and whatnot, so we can stay cool when we're playing and whatever.
Yeah.
He also provides like air fresheners. That way, the esports room kind of is nice and fresh, because you playing in there for a while, it's kind of gets sweaty in a way, and then you get that sweaty smell and whatever, and
Got to
it's
get rid
not,
of that.
yeah, it's not a pleasing smell. So he brought some air fresheners in. He brought some antiperspirant in, so that kind of fixed that problem.
You
But
guys really get into your gaming then.
yeah, you could say that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
But we also want to keep the area as clean as possible.
Mhm.
So he really pushes us to like make the area cleanly. If we do bring food in or a drink in, just make sure that it's not in the spot where it can maybe damage the computer hardware or anything like that.
Sure.
um and if you do leave a mess, obviously clean it up.
Be
um
responsible. Yeah.
mhm.
So are there highs and lows within your competition that you have to maneuver through?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And there's highs and lows with anything you do, right? Um, so I mean, competition days, on Thursdays, we had this high expectation of like, yeah, let's go play, let's go do our best, let's communicate, let's do all that. And that's obviously the highest of highs at that
Yeah.
specific opportunity. But then there's also that aftermatch of, if things didn't go our way, then it's like, man, that really sucked. Like, uh, that sucked. And what can we
Hmm.
do to get better? And what can we do to improve this situation? That way, as a team, we don't consistently keep on getting in these situations where we're like, man, like, in the thing is like, you don't want players to like get bombed out and like overstress and want to quit the respective game that they're playing.
Right.
Um, so it's really hard to like keep that balance of having fun but also wanting to compete well, and uh try and in scrims and practice, we talk about these things after matches, and then we also we work on that stuff in scrims and whatever. And don't get me wrong, since the season started, it may not look like it, but we have significantly improved, at least in my Valorant team we have.
Yeah.
uh but there's those lows that are like, it can feel detrimental to a team, like that could almost destroy a team. But like, I love my team. They're so uh they just know how to get over things. Like, all right, we have like a group discussion after matches, and we're like, we could have done this and this, but what we really did good this match is this and this.
Yeah.
And so we always try to outweigh, and we're very honest with each other as well, which is
That's
a good
great.
thing.
Yeah, it's a really good sign of a team to be able to talk about these are the positives and here's how we can continue to work on things in the future. That's fantastic. And I think for a lot of people, when you think of esports, you don't necessarily think of that teamwork aspect. It seems like it could be perceived as a solo type sport. So
Hmm.
can you talk a little bit about how that works as a team, the strategy, the camaraderie, how you guys work and gel together?
So, yeah, strategy is one of the biggest parts of the game, at least in Valorant. It's a very meticulous game where it's like the enemy team can exploit the smallest of mistakes, and if you don't fix that quickly, it can just turn into a landslide.
Yeah.
So, during the game we have two timeouts, so we try and call those at like strategic moments to where we can, fix these problems before they become a bigger deal, and
Great.
obviously it doesn't always turn out that way. There are still some situations where it's kind of hard in a way to
Hmm.
fix a specific scenario, especially if the opponent is just simply better than us.
Sure.
um so it's that, but also strategy behind it. Like, that's kind of my job as the captain and the IGL, or the in-game leader of Valorant. So a lot of that falls on me, and I honestly, I like the pressure.
Uh-huh.
And it's a lot of out of game things that I'm doing, or I'm trying to do at least, to sense, or like enlighten my ability to call on the game, just to find out new strategies that might work for any given team. And like, this strategy might not work with this opposing team, but it might work with the next opposing team that we're playing.
Great.
um
You're learning a
yeah.
lot of great skills that are going to carry on beyond
Yeah.
your time at NICC and
Hmm.
esports. All the collaboration and communication and problem solving, all of those things you're describing
Hmm.
are pieces that we hear from our employers that we talk to all the time that they're looking for future workers. So it
Hmm.
sounds like esports is really going to carry
Yeah.
on beyond here.
Yeah, and all thanks to Varric. He put me in this situation to you know lead a team and organize all these different things. And like you said, yeah, it is great leadership skills. And I think I've been doing this a couple of years now. So I've kind of gotten the gist. I know what to expect and what I maybe need to plan for. Obviously, as college students, the hardest thing is scheduling.
Yeah,
We all have work. We have classes. We have homework. We have exams. All of that, and it's just scheduling around that. And obviously, esports is important, but graduating is just as important too.
absolutely.
Um, so yeah.
That whole thing about being a student athlete and
Yeah.
balancing student first,
Hmm.
athlete next. So that's fantastic. How do you feel like, um, when you're working through one of these competitions and um, things are just getting intense and you're getting stressed out with it? How do you deal with that?
You know, it's in the moment, it's hard to think of a solution for, that specific scenario. But, you always got to have that one person on the team that is kind of like the vibe merchant, if you will.
I love that term.
The guy that just lifts up everyone's vibes and whatever, whenever
Yeah.
we're getting down on ourselves and we're like, oh, we could have done this, we could have done that. In my case, my vibe merchant is my boy Josh on my team. His gamer tag's Try, but he's just really good of uplifting the vibes. And like, he says stuff, like, yeah, we could have done that, but like, look at what we did do in this specific round, and like, that was really good. So it's always important to have someone like that on the team, especially if the whole team is down and like the mental is terrible. Like, that, obviously that's not good for trying to win games.
Right.
um and all props to him, because he does a phenomenal job about that.
Yeah, I really love that vibe merchant
Hmm.
terminology. I think every team
Yeah.
needs a vibe merchant.
Hmm.
So what is something that you probably feel like you've learned the most participating in esports?
It's hard, it's very hard. I think esports it's a rapidly evolving thing. Like, it used to be nothing, but
Mhm.
now there's all this media coverage over it. Maybe not like big media, like the big news outlets or whatever, but
Right.
you see it a lot more on YouTube and Instagram and etc. Which is really good. It's like, it's a different thing than just traditional sports.
Right.
I think in it's just so much fun, like playing video games professionally. Like, who would have thought 20 or 30 years ago that that would even be a thing?
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic because I do think gaming from certain pockets gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Um,
There are, and don't get me wrong, there are some negatives to esports, obviously. You look at the community, honestly.
mhm.
There are some negatives where people are, especially the Valorant community, um there's always those negative Nellies that are there, but I feel like the more positive people overwhelm them anyways. So I mean, it doesn't make that big of a difference.
So why did you choose Valorant over the other games? I'm sure there are other games that you enjoy too.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Valorant is just a game. It's just such a competitive game, and there's like endless possibilities of ways you can play, and different things. I don't get me wrong. I did look at the different games that we do provide at NICC, and I was like, I could play this, but like, I really like this game. Like, I really like Valorant, so it's like, and part of my thing is like, I can maybe use it as a stepping stone to maybe going into like professional tier 1 esports
Sure.
for Valorant. And I think and honestly, it's just good on a resume as well,
Yeah.
even if I
Yeah.
don't make it to that point. But back to your point, I picked Valorant specifically because I already have been playing it. Um I could, don't get me wrong, I could play multiple games, but then that divides my focus on this or that between different games. So
Mhm.
in my mind I was like, I'm just going to pick one game and put my full focus into that way I can put my full effort and try and improve as much as I can and improve my teammates as well.
Yeah, that's great. And it really does sound like you've established some good relationships, not only with your coach, Varick, but then within your esports team too.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, all the people that are associated with the esports program are just so friendly. They're so easy to talk to because I mean, we share a common goal. Like, we want to win at the end of the day. And you know, the atmosphere that Varick creates in that area is just, it's so positive, and it's so like, you can go up to anyone and say, "Hey man, what are you playing?" or blah 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 blah. You can just, and they'll explain it. Like, they're just such friendly people, and you can, and like, "Hey, can I play this game with you?" And like, "Yeah, let's do it." It's stuff like
Awesome.
that. It's just such a friendly environment.
That's fantastic. Well, I do have some quick fire questions for you just to get to
Oh
know you a little
yeah,
bit better.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, first one, PC or console for gaming?
PC.
Do you do anything on console? And if so, what console do
I
you like?
so I My dad actually has a console, and I grew up on console. I grew up on the 360, or the Xbox 360. So we have an Xbox Series X right now. And so I like just hopping on there randomly, just playing games for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
PC is where I usually go to, like, just like lock in and like try and improve at a game and whatever. Um, but yeah.
Do you find most gamers prefer PC?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot more opportunities on PC, I feel, as a
Mhm.
whole. There's a lot more games. Because PC, you have access to any game, whether it be Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam.
Sure. Yeah. I've never heard of Steam. That's the first
Hmm.
time I've heard that.
It's just a third-party client where you can play games on.
Ah, okay. What about mouse, keyboard, or controller?
I'll do mouse and keyboard. That's what I play on right now. I mean, I grew up on a controller. Don't get me wrong. I kind of miss it at some points, but I play mouse and keyboard right now, so I'm biased to that.
Great. So, are you an in-game trash talker or are you more of a silent player?
Um, Kind of depends on the scenario.
Yeah.
Um, when you have the vibes high with your team and whatnot, and you're feeling it, you're doing good, you're playing good, then that's when you kind of like can be a little trash talky to. I don't condone any trash talking, or like in this specific scenario, but friendly trash talk
Right.
between teams. It's just fun.
It's part of it.
It's part of the competition, right?
Yeah.
But when there's like instances when we're down a margin or whatever, we need to like lock in, that's when I'll kind of like hone in and maybe like not pay attention to the other team and what they're, I mean, I still need to do that, but pay attention to the other team and not necessarily what they're saying. Just focus on me and my team and get my team in the right mindset to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I know the answer to this next one just based off of our conversation, but solo player or do you trust the team?
Full trust in my team.
Yeah.
You know, we spend a lot of time playing together, so I have full trust in my team. I believe that they know what they're supposed to do in a given situation. And don't get me wrong, probably a majority of people would say go solo, but in a game like Valorant, it's so incredibly difficult to go solo, especially in organized play.
Hmm.
To go solo and actually succeed, like you need your other teammates to coordinate with each other and just win, you know?
Yeah,
You can't
absolutely.
win as 1 against 5, you know?
Yeah, good thinking,
At
good
least in most
strategy.
scenarios.
What about energy drinks or coffee? What's your go-to drink?
Mm, I'm gonna go coffee. I love my mocha coffee in the morning.
Great. How about alarm clock? Do you get up as soon as it goes off or do you hit the snooze?
No way, that's the snooze button.
Yeah. Are you more of a morning gamer or a late night streamer?
Oh, late night, 100%.
Late night guy. And the next one is pizza or tacos, but really, what is your go-to snack when you're gaming?
Playing keyboard and mouse, I don't want him to get all gross, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't typically snack when I play video games, but I'll have my go-to snack is probably like Lay's stacks, specifically the barbecue flavor. That's just so good.
The way to go,
Um,
huh?
yeah, 100%.
Um, and then what's the best piece of advice for somebody who's thinking about esports? Maybe they're just kind of doing it casually at home and they're like, this sounds kind of cool. What would you express to them?
Just do it. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity to get into. I'm very glad to be in the position that I am. I mean, I if I didn't come to NICC, I think NICC is the only person around Dubuque, you know,
Mhm.
to have like a very established esports team, specifically in Valorant. But you know, what's the worst that could happen if you do join the team? You know, you'll have fun, you'll win. Like, it, it's better to be outgoing than to not do it at all. You know.
That's great. Well, I know we're going to put up the QR code for our NICC esports website. So if anybody is interested, they can go there. Or if you're just listening to this, you can go to nicc.edu/esports. Christopher, I've really enjoyed. I've learned a lot here this last 30 minutes or so. Thank you so
Hmm.
much for joining us. And really good luck for the rest of your fall season and good luck in the spring season as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on.
And so I want to thank everybody else who also tuned in to listen and learn with us on esports at NICC. We'll see you in a future episode of The Catalyst. Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Catalyst. If you enjoyed the conversation, make sure to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Want to learn more about NICC and the many ways we support our students, partners, and community? Visit nicc.edu for more resources and upcoming opportunities. This podcast is produced by Northeast Iowa Community College and hosted by me, Amy Lasack, with executive producer Tessa Hill, producer Travis Hunt, and graphic designer Ashley Conzen.